JKB back with another episode. Today on the show I'm reviewing Fallout 76. Thank you to Bethesda for sending over the review copy. When Bethesda announced Fallout 76, which would be the world of Fallout but online with a friend, I thought it was going to be amazing, getting to go on adventures with your friends across the wasteland. It seemed like it wouldn't be that hard to break down Fallout 4 and make it online with the Fallout formula still intact. But what we got versus what was promised to us when the game was originally announced isn't a great experience. The overall experience is designed to be played with friends. It's very clear after my 30+ hours playtime, you're dropped into a world with very little explained. You walk out of the vault, not really understanding what you need to do. There's a slight learning curve as you not only try to figure out the gameplay elements that are introduced in Fallout 76, but also as you head to your first mission in the game, which is designed to teach you on how to use the camp systems in this game. And even 30 hours into the game, I still don't exactly know how everything is working. I also feel that the visuals aren't what was promised. They're muddy, they're blurry, at times there's lighting systems that are laughable with god rays coming out of random rock formations on the ground. There's moments of beauty, but there's nothing really special in Fallout 76 in terms of its graphics. Now you're probably wondering, what do you do in Fallout 76? What are the NPC characters like? As you may know, the interactions with the NPC characters are the backbone of what makes the Fallout formula really work in the main storyline games. Well, I've got bad news for you. There's not a single NPC character that I came across in my 30 hours of gameplay. Instead, the story is told through audio logs and computer access points. I'm thinking they thought that we wouldn't really need NPC characters because the players would have other players to actually create their own stories with. And that's something a few studios have tried in the past and many have failed. Minecraft is the prime example I can give you in which that formula works. In this game, does that work here? Not necessarily. In Fallout 76, you can craft just like you could do in Fallout 4, but here it's kind of a mess. It's hard to do. And only once did I say to my friends while I was playing online, let's try to build a house. Because during my playtime, to be fair, this game isn't really designed to be something you just jump into and start creating. You really have to go out there and loot, and then you can do some crafting and building with all of your building materials. Now, as you're playing, there's real-time events that will take place on the map. For example, a bunch of robots will show up and they've gone haywire, and guess what you have to do? Kill them all. That's about it. Here's one major issue I have with the game. It's a massive open world. We all get that. It's fun to kind of walk around and loot. You have other players who can randomly walk up to you and talk. That's cool because that's what the game's kind of all about. I want to interact with my friends, but playing with others online and having random people show up causes major issues. The issue is that when you're playing a random tape that you found on the ground that's telling you some of the story, and some asshole comes up singing Lady Gaga, as you're trying to listen to your audio tape, you have a hard time hearing it. You have to literally run away from the player, and that's unbelievable. Now, as I write this, I'm happy to say that the first update is supposedly going to add push to talk, which will fix this issue, but come on. Why wasn't this fixed when the game initially came out? I just have to bring it up here just to point towards more incompetence. They've also introduced a food and water survival system where you need to replenish them as you play the game. This is designed to force you out into the world to look for food and water, or you'll just simply die. Now, of course, you can trade items to other players, and that just kind of gave me an idea as I'm writing this. I'm gonna actually build a little water hut and sell water out of it and make an absolute killing. Now that, I want to see if I can actually do that in the game. Do I find the new survival system to be a great addition to the game? I mean, I guess. It's not like it really bothers me, but some people are complaining just like they did with Breath of the Wild and the durability of the weapons in that game. I think it really comes down to, do you like grinding? Do you like going out there with your friends and trying to find more survival items, because if you don't, then this game simply is not for you. The VAT system does make a return back into the game, but because it's an online world, it doesn't actually stop time. It's now done in real time, which is kind of cool to use, but you'll use it more like a survival tool in the last second and less like a strategy. It's more about saving your ass in the crazy moments when there's a giant cockroach trying to murder you. Let me give you an example of something that happened to me in the game, just so you can know how ridiculous it is. You'll hear an audio tape of some character who just had this incredible life. However, you'll never get to meet this character or be part of that amazing story because the character is dead. However, this character is telling you through audio files that she loved pulled pork sandwiches, and now, guess what? It's your job to honor this character by collecting a bunch of items to be able to make pulled pork on the stove. And that's it. You have to look for a bunch of items. And guess what? The next mission is to look for clean water. And guess what? The next mission is to kill a bunch of robots. And now that you have the item you're looking for, oh no, look out. There's more robots attacking you as you try to kill the initial robot you were sent to kill in the first place. But wait, there's more. Here come the ghouls. That's about it. Never once was I attacked by another player. And that's because a lot of the game is designed around, playing it for 80 hours and building up huge camps with friends before you really want to get into 1v1 combat. Once you've built a giant camp, what's left to do? Well, I guess that's where the nuclear bombs come into place and you can attack other camps. And that's the circle of life in this game. I will say on the positive side, the map does feel like a Fallout world. There's buildings with open doorways where you can kind of walk into them without having to worry about a loading screen. But I kept running into buildings where I had to load into the building, which takes you out of the action. And that, in an open world online adventure game, is something you kind of don't want to do, especially if you accidentally hit the button to enter the building as you're outside of the building fighting a bunch of ghouls. I think the biggest issue with the game is that it isn't really a game. It's the beginnings of something that will be interesting and fun to play, but in its current state, it's hard for me to recommend the game to you right now. Playing this game alone is almost pointless. Playing with a group of friends is where it's at, but where it's at isn't where it should have been. I can see the beginning of something great here. The experience is going to be turned into something that is worth purchasing. But after what was promised, it's hard. It's really hard to not be extremely disappointed with what this is now. I'm hoping for major updates that keep making the game better and better as we play it. I'm sure there's a whole plan in place, but I'm kind of getting a little tired of the half-ass games coming out that kind of turn into something 6 or 12 months down the road. Just release, for the first time ever, a finished game once in your life. Because, to me, it's clear that this is a failed attempt at using the Fallout name because you've just put a shell of a game over an online system. However, there is one positive here. The game didn't delete itself like my beta version did, so at least I got to play it. I can't recommend Fallout 76 yet because it's not what they promised us on launch. Did I have a few fun moments? Yeah, there's a few fun moments to be had here with your friends, but playing on your own, you may as well just go play Fallout 3, go play Fallout New Vegas, go play Fallout 4, but just avoid this for now. I think down the line, this will be something to check back in on, but at this current state, disappointment everywhere. I'll see you in the next episode of JKB, and if you like my review, please consider subscribing. See ya.